Aloha and welcome to the Rainbow Wrap-Up. I am all wrapped up from an amazing weekend in Oregon. So I'm still kind of basking in, that Oregon glow because that was the best part of my trip. As you know, we'll talk about that game that I had to go to, Mr. Sean Eyman. But before we do, just want to welcome you in. Aloha, how are you doing right now?
I'm doing great, Wayne. Thanks for having me back. Let's go Bows.
All right, well, let's go. And, Oregon State was a game that we both picked Hawaii to actually lose. And your score was pretty close, though. Is that something you're proud of? Again, no stress, Seanis, I believe you would go.
No. I want to be totally wrong.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, that Oregon State game, though, you said 42-17, and it was, or 42-27, and it was 45. What was the final score? I was there.
45-27.
I mean, I was there. I was there with a lot of my friends. I was there. June Jones was there, and I got to hang out with him before the game. If you check out on Facebook, Warrior Nation Facebook Live, I went Facebook Live for like 20 minutes. That was hilarious. Before the game, with Josh Jump, who is the father of Gene Pryor, number 74 on the offensive line, and his mom, Jamie, she was there too, and very happy to be in the stands, which is something that the parents won't be able to do at Ching Field. And, let's talk about that because I have been hearing from the parents from the very beginning, and we said this before. We said this a month ago that I didn't think there'd be fans anyways, but there was no plan put in place. But finally, apparently, a real proposal with COVID protocols was proposed, at least this time, that we know for sure of, because that's what was outlined by the athletic director. But that was turned down by the governor as well, which is shocking because I'll be open and say I was one of those people that had been helping the parents behind the scenes, but I didn't expect. How do I say this? I was actually surprised they got a response from the governor for one thing, but the response was not one that I wanted. And what is your reaction, Sean?
Sometimes it's just really hard to be a UH fan, and I feel like it's never been harder than in this season. You turn on the TV on Saturday, on Friday, on Thursday, you see packed stadiums. And I can understand not having max 9,000, shoulder to shoulder. But at the very least, you can have a couple people for each athlete, whether it be their parents or, two of their friends. If you get 500, 700 people in there, you have a 9,000 seat stadium. They can socially distance. Yeah. And if they don't comply, you just kick them out. These are the rules. This is the deal. And if you don't want to abide by them, if you got to be vaccinated, it's just super frustrating. And I'm not optimistic about it changing either. So,
yeah. I'm with you as well. I'm not optimistic now at all because I only had a glimmer of hope that it might change. But now that he came out and said no again, and to the parents this time specifically,
that's brutal.
And there are almost 100. Okay, so I don't understand because.
From the practical standpoint, like where our hospitals are near capacity.
Yes,
I understand. I understand that, but
it seems like so. And we're going to talk about it right now because we're already on the side of we don't get it. Sean and I are both there. We're all upset with, Governor Ige in a way. But the one thing, and I'm going to point this out that I discovered in Stephen Tsai's opinion piece that was in, I believe, today's paper. He talked about, why basically calling out Governor Ige, but also saying what he believed is that Ige and the state do not trust the University of Hawaii. And when I look at that, and Stephen Tsai did not say why, so we're going to talk about the why. And the why is something I talked about, and I've talked about since the beginning of the show. It's the building that relationship, just like anybody when you're networking, but especially your overseers or whatever the university is in relationship to the athletic department, their stewards, they have to be accountable all the time. Yes. But they also have to develop a friendship. There has to be do they go to the Christmas party? This sounds crazy, but that level of, you got to know each other. The stadium authority already showed us that they're going to unilaterally make a decision, suspending all play, which they did unilaterally because it shocked everyone to hear it, like UH. So if UH is hearing this from the media, that's not a good thing. If nobody tipped them off, right, that means have no friends there at the stadium authority that tipped them off to this. That's shocking, first of all, because the island is so small that, and they probably did get tipped off and they had nothing to say. So I'm not saying that they didn't, but it would be disingenuous to say that because it's shocking that they didn't see it coming. But if they didn't, then that's even worse, because that means they really have zero relationship with the stadium authority, which is another government entity, which is the one building the new stadium. How much input do they have there? That's why before we even get to this new stadium, this current stadium situation is just being milked. At least the money came in to build this stadium, really. I mean, luckily they were able to reap donations short term, but long term, those donations are going to rot out. They're like, tax cuts that certain presidents make for certain groups to try and, win them over, and then they don't last forever. But that's basically what some of these deals are, with what the school is trying to do to pull in some revenue, pull in some capital to build, which is what they have to do to sustain themselves and their salaries and their costs and everything. We already know this. But now Governor Ige has definitely made it harder for them. And what I'm going to say right now is I don't see this relationship getting much better right now anyway. So they better stick their heads out on the line and fight back. And that's what they have to do. Literally, that's all. You cannot take this one. You definitely have to, because this is already making national news, first of all. It's already all over the place. People already knew before that UH was the only school. A lot of people who are in the know of college football knew that Hawaii was a school that did not have fans. Now, not only do we not have fans, but we have the governor again coming out and saying that he can't even have the parents there. And I'm saying long term, and I talk about this all the time. And as fans, as Akamai fans who are hardcore super fans, we have to be knowledgeable of the long-term status of our program too. And how we're trending. I say this all the time, especially because we spend so much of our time and our money and our personal investment in this program. So if we see ourselves, not even hitting any of the markers that we used to in the previous 50 some odd years of the program, 100 years, whatever we've had, I don't know if we're going to be able to retain any more fans, and we're probably going to keep losing. So, and we'll talk about the conference realignment. But Sean, in terms of long-term prospects, do you think that this, and how will this be a blow to the program?
This is basically Governor Ige putting his hands around the University of Hawaii's neck and just squeezing. Not having revenue come in after a year when you didn't have any is just, it's terrible, and it's terrible. And don't you think that this is going to be used against us in recruiting? I'm sure it's already being used against us in recruiting. Don't go there. You can't have fans. There's no fans there. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's just so bad. And I just don't see a way out of it. I feel like he's going to keep this thing for the rest of the season. UH is already returning season ticket money, and it's bleak. It's bleak. It's like he doesn't even have like, oh, like I'll look into it. It's just a hard no.
Yeah.
And people, like we're still having concerts at Blue Note. There's still the luau's.
Yeah.
Why? I just don't understand why he's just staying on this mountain. And it's just, I understand it can't be max capacity, but it just doesn't seem like he's willing to bend on just the littlest thing. And I think letting the parents, letting some, close friends in there would make a huge difference for the program, for the players, and for the university as a whole. I think it would be like a starting point. And it's like, they're not even giving UH the opportunity to show what they can do. It's like they're not even being trusted to do the bare minimum. It's like, I don't even trust you guys. So, I mean, it's disturbing. It's disturbing.
Yeah, it's disturbing because now it's out there in the open. Things that we've been talking about, I'm going to put it out there. I've been talking about since I started podcasting and since I started this live stream. And that is because I look long-term. I work the long game. I am in my late 30s. I am Hollywood. And to some people, I'm a working actor, but to some people that are my age, they're like out of the game already. They're like, I can't believe this. Like, how can you got to give up already? Like legitimately, because to some, the short term is what's important. They don't see building. I see building long term from my personal brand, from my personal business, for Hawaii Sports Fans, which is now going to be 10 years old soon. We're going to have a great tour coming up at hisportsfans.com. I got to drop that, of course, because it's going to be a big one with the Chiefs and the Seahawks and the Rams and the Chargers and SoFi. And, all of this stuff is not profitable, period. For me, I'll be straight up with my business. It's a difficult business to run. But at the end of the day, that's not why I do business. Like I said, I wish I didn't have to sell anything. I really hate selling. I just love doing. And I wish people, I know that people want to do what they do, but what I do costs a lot of money. It costs me a lot of money, personal investment of my time. But the reason that I invest all that time is because I really love it. And because I'm willing to stick my neck out, literally. And like you said, David Ige has stuck his hands around the neck of UH at this point. So what do you do when that's happening?
And he's squeezing,
and you gotta, what do? You just take it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you got to scratch, you got to kick, because this is, like you said, it's going to affect recruiting. It's going to affect, really the long-term aspects of the program that we need to be, because the wins are important. Yes. Coach Graham, it's important that he win. Yes. But he is a totally separate issue from this. He might be semi-related to this issue, but really the long-term program, the prospects of the program, he inherited with the program. I hope he wins. And right now we look a little shaky, especially, we know we're playing 2 Pac-12 teams, but that's why when I see people calling him out, which is fine, even though we were 3 games into the season and he brought us a trophy last year, just, so it's hard, even though like I said, you got to really explain having your sons as coordinators. Like, you got to explain a lot of things, but to be calling him, to be going out at him right now that strong, some people are, and I get it. We have deeper issues in that. That's what I'm saying. That's the short-term stuff. I'm talking about the long-term stuff. I'm talking about whether we're going to have a program. I'm talking about whether we're going to have UH football into, the year 2023, 4, 5, past that, because everything's shifting in the landscape of college football. And this is the worst time for us to be regressing. And we're regressing super fast because, we're losing fans. We've always been losing fans. We've been losing fans since 2007, slowly. We've just been, and now it's gap. I really predict that by next year, there won't be filled of 90,000. I don't think there'll be 9,000 season tickets. I think we're going to be barely filling 9,000. And, that's going to be already make it impossible to move into 35,000 unless we have leadership that's going to try and grow the fan base and make that important, or just be like the USA and get a few 10 rich people that run everything. And if UH can find those, whatever, then good for them. I mean, bring them into the stands, put them in the party, and let them pay for the program. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even be angry if they tried that. If they tried to just be like, we're building, that's what I said, build temporary suites right now that happen to be located there. I mean, like, you got to find ways to get people at the games and make money, you know, without, even if Governor Ige says nobody at the stadium, oh, well, how can we say that this is not a part of the stadium right now? Like the sand courts and the volleyball, put 25 people in there who are willing to pay, you know, a lot of money as sponsors. You know what I mean? Like, that's not technically a part of the stadium. Like I'm saying, like, they got to do stuff like that at this point, because Governor Ige is super stubborn and his reasons are his reasons. And UH is probably at fault for most of those reasons, but also Governor Ige and his, you know, right now, very staunch, you know, I don't even know what it's like to be a governor or mayor of any town or city right now or state. You know, it's already, it is what it is. But you would think that, yes, football might be a way of helping to bring the people together that politicians could use in their favor. But it's quite the opposite at UH. But nonetheless, you know, what can we do, Sean, at this point? What do you think should be done at this point? Do we just roll over? Does everybody take it? Or what would you say being done? As I say, go to the press. If you're the AD, go to the press, go to SportsCenter, go to Neil Everett and talk to him on SportsCenter LA and, you know, get national attention. Like, you have to put pressure, I think, on Governor Ige, especially for parents. The parents one is a crazy one. Like, that's just, you know, crazy, but I think that we have to keep doing something. So that's my opinion. I
think we're looking at accessibility to this product, and it is being restricted to the point where, like, people are just going to walk away.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's concerning, because we've been hemorrhaging fans for 15 years anyway. So, I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I just know that by continuing on this path, by the time that UH is able to turn on the lights, you know, and have fans, there's going to be a lot less. And I can see it. I can feel it. It's like people are very disenfranchised.
Yeah.
And frustrated. Yeah. And it just at least do something. I don't know. I don't know the answer. And I tend to think that David Ige is probably one of the least popular people in the state right now. You know, it's a good thing he's not up for re-election, because I don't think he could do it.
And that's a sad commentary on Hawaii, and it has nothing to do with party affiliation. For sure, it's like Hawaii has, within the one party system that it is, its own varying takes, and a lot of it is anti-sports, a lot of it is anti-progress. So, and that is Hawaii being who it is. And that's the sad part about this situation, is it exposes rifts that are within the state. I mean, like, the university president has to be on this. He has to be talking to Ige. He has to be hounding him, because this is crazy when there's precedent already going on. So that's what I got to say. I think at the same time, the school should have had if they had a better relationship with the governor, they had a better relationship with the stadium authority, with the mayor, things would be handled differently. They might go the same way.
Yeah, I think they're trying to take they're trying to take the high road, you know, and trying to play by the rules.
Oh, of course, yes, of course, and that's their game, obviously, because that's the low risk game. That's the lowest risk game, and that's the thing. It's not about taking the high road. It's about taking the path of least resistance. That's not the high. The high road is sticking up for your fans. That's the high road,
right? And your family, or your ohana.
I was told by a fan of this program this week that Spirit doesn't pay for shit. So, and not a rich person, but I guess this fan believes that it's okay to cater to the rich people or the sponsor. Not even rich people. The thing is, if it was rich people, yes, but like, so much of it is sponsors that are not paying attention to the program. They're not really avid supporters. They're just trying to spend their marketing dollars. And if that's the case, then milk them for even more and put them in contracts for a long time, not just for, you know, one season or for perpetuity. It has to be revenue coming in. But, you know, looking at UCF and how they do it at their program, how they, you know, are making the experience different for everybody. from their fans that are paying the cheap in the nosebleeds to the fans that are really getting an experience pregame and postgame. That's how you're building it. That's how you build around the brand. But like you said, when you prohibit access, and already the pay-per-view was already prohibitive. It was already cost prohibitive, and it was already restricting access. And now we've made it worse that the only way you can watch is on television.
In an empty stadium. I mean, yeah, that's not... Your options are very few, and it's just frustrating. And I don't know. It's bleak. It's bleak because fans are the lifeblood of the program, and the fans are being held out in mass.
Well, you just said it. Fans are the lifeblood of the program. Not everybody believes that. Not everybody does, because when you are allowing yourself to not make retention of fans, A, but B, the growth of your fan base a priority, neither one of those things are a priority to you. You don't care about your lifeblood. You're just whatever, sucking up some artificial whatever to stay alive. And that's what it is. It's fake spirit, but spirit doesn't pay for anything is what I was told. So, you want to see more fight from UH just across the board. Oh, I mean, like you said, we're being choked right now. We're being choked. Yeah. But like you said, like it's the lowest risk for them to not do anything. And like you said, they made the proposal. They did this. Like I'm saying, they need to just let parents come in. Period. Just
leave the gate open and
yes,
hey, yeah. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Space them out. Do exactly what the state said we couldn't do, but go by the protocols and say, you know what, we did it. I mean, even for the parents, there's not like there's a lot of parents, first of all. Or you can make a spot for the parents that is not on the field. That is like I said, the volleyball court, not technically field.
Restaurant.
Yes, exactly. We have a restaurant here today.
Let's have a luau.
Called Chef Murakami Stadium or something. And you like I'm serious, like I'm saying, like that needs to be done. It cannot be like Council Chef. It needs to be like come to UH. Let's figure something out for the parents, because the parents are going to go back and tell their friends not to let their kids go to Hawaii as well, for the way that they're being treated at UH. And this is happening right when we're starting a new era of a coach too. So that's what I mean by the fight. And I think there's long-term ramifications that don't come into play for people because it doesn't affect their job status right now. And it affects fans because we see things happening and we know we're going to, in 2021, in 2007, walking out of the Sugar Bowl on January 1st, 2008, knowing that we would never be on this mountaintop again walking down. And we've never turned around to go back up. We had a momentary uptick with Rolo-ish after Chow that was made us second tier, maybe top 50 program, not a top 25 program. Right. And that's sad because now we're just grasping, and like you said, we're being choked. So what I can say right now is the team can't be affected by it, and the team has to move forward from it. But I just hope that they can use it as some kind of motivation, because this week's game against San Jose State is definitely going to be a tough one. San Jose State is legit. We already said that last year. They came in and they won, and that was supposed to be their home game, and they had to fly here. I get why they were, cocky about it. But whatever, short term. What did I just say? Short term. That's why. Take the wins now, baby, right on Twitter. Get your kicks in. I mean, that's how a lot of people are. It's a cheap shot, but some of those guys not going to be there the next year, so they don't care. Or the SID might not even be at the school who put out, you cannot spell Honolulu with 2 L's. He don't care himself either. So I'm saying, it's the kind of thing that's like these tactics, are used whatever, just liberally in college sports and marketing. And what I'm referring to, obviously, is after San Jose last year beat Hawaii, they made a meme with the Sharks and Waikiki and saying you can't spell Honolulu without 2 L's. But I think it's a good rivalry with San Jose, first of all, because they are getting better. And they've always been kind of a rival. I mean, the Bay Area and Hawaii has always been a tight relationship. So what do you have in store though, or what does Nostradamus in store for? I'll go and look at what our score predictions are, but what do you think about the game and the matchup?
So before the season, I predicted 24-23 with no fans for San Jose State, and I'm going to stick with it. I think even if they had the parents in there, I would consider picking UH to win because I think that would be a huge thing. But our program has serious issues. You know, we got the team, you know, the fan issue. We got coaching issues with the coordinators. Like our team's giving up 500 yards a game on defense, and it's just totally unacceptable.
Well, like you said too. And I don't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Coach hasn't had a home crowd ever. Coach Graham.
It's true. Yeah. And,
so, I mean, that's something that he has to get credit for as well. He's not yet, this is his second season, and he's yet to play in front of any fans at University of Hawaii. So, I mean, that's a significant loss in advantage when you are playing a home game. And, you know, once again, San Jose, like you said, comes in and plays Hawaii in front of no fans.
And I think that he's going to get a pass this year. He gave us the bowl win last year, and I think regardless of what happens this year, especially if no fans are let in the whole season, I feel he's just going to get a pass, and rightfully so. Yeah. I do think both coordinator positions are going to need to be addressed. There just needs to be more consistency on both sides of the ball, and I look at the schemes and what's happening on defense. It's just like, you know, the opposing quarterback can drop back and make a sandwich and then, you know, complete a pass after 8 seconds. And then on offense, Chevin's getting pressure after 1.5 seconds. So, I mean, there's issues with this team, and San Jose is legit. I think we're more of a rival to them than they are to us. They get up for our games, and
for sure.
they got we helped pack their stadium. So I think we're in for another loss this week. That's what I had predicted, and I'm going to stick by it too.
So this
program has serious issues. Yeah. 24-23.
24-23. Yeah, I mean, that is a rival. I mean, they're probably mad that I stormed their field by myself and ran across it with my Hawaiian flag as well. So that probably didn't help. But that got a lot of views, actually, which is kind of shocking. Because I had a cast on and I was on my way to Beyonce too. But that rivalry, like you said, is something that is becoming more contentious because of the fact that San Jose is finally doing their part in the rivalry and winning more. But that's because they've lost a lot of close ones to us. And I've been there for close ones that we've beat them. So that's why 24-23 is apropos. It's always a close one. And I had 31-28 with the late field goal. And I'm going to keep that because, I said it once before. I don't need to change it. I think I'm a forever optimist. So this is it. First of all, I was there at Oregon State, obviously, and it was painful to watch most of the time. I loved being there. It's fun. Shout out to all the parents that I got to hang out with and the fans and Kili and Val and everybody. And Chawan, our friend Keith. Everybody it was a fun time. And that's what I really love about going to all these games. But first of all, I did like some of the trick plays. I'm a proponent of the backward throw and all these extra passes.
That was great. Yeah, that was great stuff.
But it was definitely floppy. It was definitely like, okay, we got to do this now. It was definitely like they were desperate because they hadn't practiced it that much. And they were getting rushed. Like we're saying, we're playing Pac-12 teams. First of all, we have to be honest. We are playing Pac-12 talent, Pac-12 defenses. It's bigger, faster guys.
Portland State, though, put 500 yards up on us.
Yeah, but most of that came in the second half. I mean, and a lot of that, the second half was boring of that game. And that's a team needs to learn from that too. So I'm saying this is going to be their first real, that's it. It's done. This is 0-0. We're 0-0. This is the last time.
How many times are we going to draw a line in the sand and say, you guys have to be better now?
Oh no, this is the last time. Well, I mean, at this time, this is San Jose. But I mean, like you said, they have 2 games. They have 2 games. They have 2 games against Pac-12 teams. The second year of the coaches has always been, like you said, they always give them a pass. And I hope that we don't rely on that, because I don't want to see us losing we're going to 2 or 3 wins right now when we don't have fans, especially, and that kind of attention, it would be a bad timing for that. But the team has enough talent to contend in the Mountain West, period. They have enough talent. Calvin Turner is one of the best players in Mountain West. No doubt. The Mountain West just happens to have teams that have probably at least as much talent than us, if not more. Like, we're not there anymore where we used to just be like, oh, of course, it's only San Jose. Now we look at their roster and it's like, wow. And they have Fehoko on their team. They have local boys, they have Polynesians, they have guys that are legit from the Bay Area. So they're not the team that's going to be out-talented. So, but they're not a team that's out-talenting us. I think Boise's the only team where I'm like, okay, we got to definitely play our A game. San Jose, they're really good. We got to play our A game against them. I'm not saying we don't, but we'll have mismatches finally. And we really have mismatches. Against Pac-12 teams, there was against Portland State, that first quarter, we mismatched them everywhere. Like, the receivers are just confusing their DBs. And, I thought that was, that's why it's hard to get a base. We need the Mountain West opponent. San Jose will give us that. You're saying 23-24. I'm going to stay with my 31-28 win for the Bows. And like you said, Sean, you had 6 and 7. So are you going to adjust that win total?
I've been saying this looks like a 4 or 5 win team. So based on what we've seen so far this year, I mean, there's still time to turn it around, but
no. So right now, that's what I'm saying. Right now, where do you put that? You change the number?
As of right now, I'm thinking 5 wins.
Yeah. I mean, as I said 8 wins at the beginning, and I said that was high.
Yeah.
And right now, I would say we're playing like 5-win team for sure, at best. And that's what I'm saying. San Jose will be the one that's like, because San Jose is the one that I said we were going to win. And I think that because this will be the litmus. San Jose is a perfect litmus for us. Really,
yes.
Really. It's at home. It's, even though we don't have fans, it's not going to be, it's San Jose. It's a team that when we walk on the field and we see them and they see each other, they're not going to be like intimidating each other. It's like legitimately one-on-one. Let's see who can do it right now. And they're the Mountain West defending champs. So, the team needs to get up for that. Even if it's not up for San Jose, get up for the champs. Get up for the Kings right now. And that's who they are.
Well, and that's where it comes down. Like, if talent is kind of a wash, it's going to come down to scheme. It's going to come down to scheme and assignments. And based on what we've seen in the first 3 games, I'm not confident that our team's there for that stuff. Yeah. So, I'm hoping to see improvement. We really need this one. Yeah. The Dick Tomey Legacy Trophy's up. Yeah. We got, there's a Brennan coaching, and that special on Monday was absolutely incredible. Brennan.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's great.
Awesome.
Great. He gets me every single time. And Robert did a great job.
How crazy is that to have him Kikala doing it too?
Yeah.
I mean, what a year. That's what I'm saying. Like, when the chips are down, a team has a chance to really change things around. And to me, the boys and the team and even the coaching that we have now, which was hired by the current administration, they need the support right now for sure, more than anything. And the criticism is not unwarranted at all. But right now, 3 games into season 1 and 2, everybody had the team at 1 and 2. Mostly, you had the team at 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at, 1 and 2. We thought we would be better. I thought we would look better. I definitely thought we would look better. But that's what we had them, 1 and 2. I had them at 2 and 1. But I was overly optimistic about the UCLA thing. UCLA definitely looks legit. But let's just get the best for San Jose. Hope everybody out there has been enjoying as much as they can. Come check us out, hisportsfans.com, at hisportsfans on Twitter, at hisportsfans HI Sports Fans on Instagram, Hawaii Sports Fans on YouTube, Facebook as well, and the Hawaii Sports Fans channel, wherever you get your podcasts like this one, Rainbow Wrap Up, which we get up every Thursday night, and we want to keep doing this. I think this is our 5th or 6th show. We're going to have Shane Agno, Lalohead, joining us again when he can. But for Sean Eyman, this is Wayne Coito. We'll talk to you guys next time. Aloha.
Go O's.